Welcome back to the pack, guys, and welcome to week 73, the finale of week 73 of Arena and the Arena Chronicles. Let's see. So we got some stuffs here to collect. That's always fun. I think I did miss my, I always forget. I sometimes do half of the dailies and then forget to do the other half, and I just remembered that. So I'm going to do it now before I forget, because if I forget, I can't tell you the number of days that I've missed the Master Quest. Probably like a half a dozen or a dozen or so. I hate that. Ha! Thought you would be sneaking in without... Oh. I saw your comment yesterday. I know you're here sometimes. I miss you, man. It's fun having you tune in. So thank you for tuning in. It's not every day we have a Ruski in the chat, you know? Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. Me and Russians go way back. Me, Russians, Slavs, Romanians. Since, like, my childhood, I've always been close. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Sup, Sebastian? French people have my soft spot, too, because, every time something happens in Armenia, France is always, like, one of the first countries to be, you know, actually concerned with it. We're like barnacles. You can't shake us loose. Okay. I wouldn't use barnacles as a frame of reference, but okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know what it would be like to have barnacles on me. Maybe that's a different story for you. It's kind of fishy if you ask me. Bad pun? Okay. But yeah, France, man, France. I wouldn't be alive today. I wouldn't exist. I'm not even kidding. I would not exist if it weren't for French people. So if you look at, let's see, hopefully I don't have anything bad open. I don't know. Let's see, 40 days, 40 nights, Musa. This is a famous story. 40 nights, oh, not Jesus fasting, but that's interesting too. 48, yeah, this is a famous fight, right? And they wrote a book about it. Yeah. So my ancestors on my mom's side, her mom, yeah, my mom's side, they were on this mountain fighting against the Turks for 40 days, 40 nights until they ran out of munitions. And they were lining the women and children up to jump off a cliff because they were afraid what the Turks would do to them. Because they'd seen, other stuff up until that point that were just utterly horrific. So, and off in the coast, they see a French ship, and it sails by. And then they lined up again, I think, something like that. But then the ship came back round and actually saved them, and then bought a plot of land for them in Lebanon for them to stay in. So that was extremely fortuitous. And Armenians and French have a history going way back. Way back. And yeah, literally, if that French ship didn't sail by, I would not exist. I don't know how else to put it. So, to the French people. All the way going back to, the Lusignans, who had a, let's see, the Lusignans. They had a empire in Armenia, Armenia, when it was under, Armenian control. Because there's a lot of Armenians moved there. They settled there because, all the invasions, the Seljuk Turkic invasions, pushed them away. So, yeah, there was an Antioch kingdom of Antioch and kingdom of Armenia, something like that, in Anatolia, Cilicia. And, yeah, so they had French kings ruling over Armenian Cilicia and Anatolia. So that was, yeah, Armenians and French go way back. And they've really held on to all that. Yeah, I guess maybe the mentalities are different now a bit, but they still, I don't know what it is. They still hold to those historic ties. Um, and there's a lot going on in Armenia right now. So any support or opposition against Azerbaijan doing whatever horrendous things they're doing is much appreciated. So yeah, I mean you read some of these stories and it brings you to tears, man. It's really tragic. But let's do this while I still remember. Otherwise, I'm gonna miss another master quest here. Um, so I should have like 12 more shards than I. Shards? No, you take 2 for a shard. I should have like 6 more shards than I do. Let's just say. From all the days I've missed. I don't think that's true. Out of everyone, I think, was it the United Nations or something else? They were the first to oppose what Azerbaijan was doing. The first, before everybody else. They led the argument against Azerbaijan and condemning their actions. And even Russia abstained this time, and Russia's supposed to be an Armenian ally. Russia has military bases in Armenia, and they abstained. They didn't say anything. So it's almost like Russia plays both sides and then sells munitions to both sides so they could profit, and I don't know. I'm sure they don't. It's smaller, but it's still a lot more than what other countries are doing, than the UK is doing, buddying up to Azerbaijan and stuff like that. So, and what people don't realize, like, you make these these friends, business friends that are committing like horrendous acts, it wouldn't make sense. Like, if they killed your neighbor and it's like, hey, you wanna do business, like your literal neighbor, like next door, and then the next day that same person that did that, it's like, hey, you want to do business, you'd probably say no. But because it's so far away and detached, you don't think about it. But with Armenians in Armenia, like, there's no context in which Armenia would ever be like a threat to another country. Like, if the entire world supported Armenia, like, if you look at the history of Armenia, uh there's no reason Armenians would ever attack any other country. Whereas, like, if Turkey grew again, like what they used to in the past, and people grew them into this big entity, that could pose a threat to the West in the future. Like, there's contexts in which Turkey would attack just about any country in the world, just about. Um, so I don't think profiting now long term, they can't attack any country as well. Yeah. France is pretty tame these days. Um, but I don't think there's a context, where Armenians would ever do something like that. Whereas building up a country like this, so you could short-term profit, is going to spell a lot of disaster. Just think of the Crimean Wars. You know, back then, France and I think Britain were siding with Turkey, the Ottomans against the Russians. Big mistake. Right after that, they committed like tons of atrocities. I mean, the worst that they've ever had in the whole run of their empire, from like 1850 to like the 1920s. Millions, tens of millions were just killed. Tens of millions. And that was all enabled because, if France and Britain didn't support Turkey back then, they wouldn't have grew to what they were. So these things, they don't they don't go under the rug. They always resurface and cause a bigger issue later. It's just like when we gave arms to the Taliban. So they could fight the Russians. Or you give arms to what becomes ISIS. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It always comes to bite you in the ass later. Let's go back. I don't need to show this. Let's go back. Let's go back. Ah. Accidentally clicked that. Didn't need to click that. Let's go to here. Looks like 200 people have done their matches in the last hour. That's interesting to note. 200 first place people, or 200 people, let's say, maybe. Enough to pass ahead of me, anyway, with how the math works out on that. I did not reset my matches. I don't know why I didn't do that. I never do it, so that's probably why. That one didn't seem too bad. 5th week. Oh, nice job, Sebastian, man. That's a major congrats there, since you don't even use Passport, do you? I don't know, but let me check my thing. I use Passport, so I got a little more than most other people do here. I've that much lifetime gold. Almost at 1.3. You know, like 10, almost at 13 million there, basically. I'll get there in no time, hopefully. Let's see. I have these. It's not a lot, but it's something. And I'm going to clear out the shop anyway, so I may as well buy this ahead of time, just so I can see how much gold I have. Yeah, that's not a lot, but it's still worth it, because I'm going to clear that shop. Thanks, no pass. Yeah, also working on your 3rd week in a row on your brother's account. Wow. That is crazy. I'm too lazy to do that. Yeah, multiple accounts is just nuts. Plus trying to get perfect every week rather than just you know, casually playing, just semi-casual, right? Like you kind of try, but you don't. Let's see. Uber Killing Machine is weak to Confusion, just like every other thing. This is gonna be an easy team. I mean, easy, right? Right? Okay. It's gonna be easy. Alright. Let's bring in that guy for the leader. Zap. Bang. I don't think I need Sizz. But yeah. Give him leadership. And then we'll give Zap and Bang. Get them in here. Zap. Bang. Dole. The whole lot, you know? There we go. UKM is weak to confusion, I guess. Yes, he is. That's why we're running in with this. Seems like the best thing I could do, probably. Yeah. Also faster than Sorrow, so that's good. More or less. Everything looks fairly decent here. I'm not too worried. Yeah, let's go in with this. Don't think I'm forgetting anything, at least. You guys let me know. But yeah. But yeah, if you guys see any news on my my country, go ahead, follow it, see what's going on there, share anything you can. Maybe I'll stop using the name. I feel like the algorithm, because last time this totally happened. Whenever I would say the name in like a political video I would do, it would actually get less views. So they were actively censoring any information. In fact, there was like an Indonesia or something. Indonesia was reporting on our, you know, on my country and the attacks that they were getting 2 years ago. And they didn't get censored because the closed captioning couldn't understand Indonesian. So they actually had more views than anything from Azerbaijan or Armenia. And they're not the biggest country in the world, you know, Indonesia. Like another big video was out of like India, but they're, you know, a big population, so that makes sense. But it made no sense. They actively censored anything in, you know, mostly Armenian, but a little bit. I think the Azerbaijanis had like a very well-watched video, whereas we didn't. Some sort of song or whatever it was based on the thing. And it was just... I just think social media is evil. Some of these companies are straight up evil. Just straight up evil, because I can't see that any other way, honestly. Okay. She'll go for the bang, we'll go for the paralysis, and then the confusion can come in somewhere. Bang is fine, the zap is somewhere gonna happen, right? Do I need to put him off to the side? Maybe. Okay. But yeah, so next time I'll try not to say any words, because I feel like that makes, again, it makes stuff worse. Alright, Burning Breath. Let's see. They gonna... I guess he could basic attack me. I don't know how to do this in a way where... His disc is at, thing, so that's already good right there. Maybe I'll just step back and Evil Glint from here. Because I need the guy to step forward and hit Dole, so I could confuse them all. Oh! Oh! He's slower. Well, that's great. Yeah. I guess I just hit more units as opposed to less. Plus, I'll get him in range to, for the confusion to get him. So that's not bad. Yeah. That's probably okay. Yep. That's not bad at all. Okay, so I'm resistant to crack and bang. I mean Zam, Sizz, crack and Sizz, whatever he has. So that's good. Just do that. Because I am, again, I'm pretty much resistant to whatever he has to throw at me. Yeah. So just gonna do that. Guy could very well hit me with Sizz or crack here. So I might want to stay... He could still go there. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he still could hit me with the crack, unfortunately. I could just stay back. Then he can't hit me with the crack. Not a big deal, but may as well. May as well. Sizz might kill Dolmegus, so he might just go for it. At least in his mind, right? And that's the important part. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Molten Exhale basically does get them, though. Yeah, these teams have gotten wild. Just absolutely wild. But yeah, probably gonna mention my people every now and again. Hopefully just as my people, so we don't get censored. But yeah. So that's an easy team. That's a really easy team. So is this. Kind of. That is pretty easy. Yeah, they're all kind of easy. I think we might get the perfect this week. We could get Zam. Zam Sizz. Not bad. Yeah. Zam and Sizz. Rapthorn would be nice. Sleep. That's an option. Confusion. You believe in me, Peter? This will be like my second perfect week in a row. Maybe I should keep it up. Did I have a perfect week last week? I think so. Can't remember. We're close to it. I have no idea. I had a perfect week somewhere. I'm not super paying attention. We got dye. We got some. Let's remove these guys. See what we could do from that. I mean, I could probably even win with just this, realistically. Let's see what they have going on. Okay, yeah, we could probably bring, you know, Dread Dragon, and then that's pretty much it. Dread Dragon and maybe Valencia, Spooky Valencia instead of Rapthorn. Yeah, so that's the difference between the 240 and not, is, you know, there's the difference right there. Don't think I need the agility this time. Probably not. Probably don't need the damage either, but, you know, whatever. Looks good. We're on our way, boys. We're really on our way. Keep this up, maybe. See what we can do. But yeah, that's something there. You have your range. We'll just pull you back. Let's see. It really doesn't matter which way I kind of go with this. It's more or less the same. Could always hit her with Zam. She doesn't get confused. I mean, she gets confused too, so it doesn't really matter. Doesn't, so. Well, that's pretty close. Could have hit auto, but I'm not going to because it didn't make a lot of sense there. Yeah, this kind of fits a little better. She's not dead, so we'll just do that. Just for fun. He's completely disabled, other than his basic attack. It's not gonna do shit. Okay. Killing Bianca. Pretty straightforward. See, does he have... He has a lot of HP, too. Yeah, I might not be able to one-shot him, because I wasn't able to one-shot Bianca, so... That's pretty good. Just do that. Let's do the darkness. And that for the finish. Pretty overkill. 2 turns. I like this team. I really do. I think we got our perfect week, boys. I think we did. This feels like a treat, you know? You get through the week and this is how it ends? That's a treat. That's a real treat right there. I've earned this one, guys. I've earned it. Alright. That's celebrating right there. Okay. Guys on this side might survive, potentially. I don't know. Okay, we'll do that, and that. And that's good enough. We'll do that. Okay, we'll hit auto. Didn't even take crit risk. Didn't even take the crit risk. Let's see if I can't share a video with myself here. Possibly. I'm going to send a video to myself from Instagram. Let's put my charger on this phone, which is about to die. My other phone. And let's check the... What the heck? Okay, so let's check this thing. I just wanted to show you guys potentially here. Almost had me in tears, but let me see if I can't copy this and send it to you guys. Okay, copied. Send it through Discord. Maybe I'll just click onto Chrome and watch this. Otherwise, I'm going to open up my own account in front of you guys, which I don't want to do. So there we go. Let's check this one out because it's really tough one. Okay. Oh, I'm on battery saver. I wonder if that's why my thing's been bad. Yeah, the quality here has been pretty terrible, probably. But, yeah, I guess it just said the thing anyway. Whatever. Alright, so this is a 7-year-old. Her father was in the last war 2 years ago. That one was tough watching. But, you know, there wasn't bitterness, there wasn't hatred. She did lose her father, there was sadness, but there's, you know, there's no bitterness there. So. But in their schools in Azerbaijan, they had it wasn't even, was it a kindergarten? It wasn't even an elementary school. They're teaching the kids to straight up hate Armenians. It was in Russian, so I could you could understand it. It wasn't like Turkic. You know, they were part of the Soviet Union, so a lot of them still speak Russian, learn Russian in schools. So they're just, you know, it was all in Russian. They're straight up teaching little kids to hate Armenians. Yeah, we got a perfect week. Got a perfect week, so there's that. Take our little prize here. It is. I'll send you the video. It's in Russian. You'll completely understand it. They never even took it off their page. It never got censored. You know, it never got. It's just out there. It's just straight up on their page. They just openly did it. They didn't care. Let's see if I can't search it. I even found the Instagram page and the Facebook page for the kindergarten that did this in Azerbaijan, and they didn't take it down. See if it's up here, though. Keywords are often difficult to deal with. Trying to search a thing it's very... Why are they fighting again? Why are they fighting again, huh? They fighting again. We were attacked on our land, and it's always, the answer's always been Azerbaijan. You hear news about Ukraine and Russia. Russia's the aggressor. Russia's the aggressor. Russia's the aggressor. Which is true. They are the aggressor. Never hear the same rhetoric for Azerbaijan and Armenia. It's always, what's going on there? I wonder what's happening. Oh, they're fighting over a piece of land again. It's like, that's the only land they have. You have, like, so much land, and you're entitled living in your own countries. And you're like, why are they fighting over a plot of land? Look at these backwater, you know, people. It's mind-boggling. But yeah. And that's an old man that they tortured and killed from the last war. And then they recorded it. Just straight up. I wonder how much I could get away with a stream, because on a stream it doesn't register, it doesn't process the words that I'm saying until later. So if I do long streams, I think I could get past a lot of the censorship. I feel like that's a good workaround. I can't believe that doesn't make it come up. Everyone posts about it on Instagram, though. I'd love to just pull open Instagram on my phone and boom, have it right there, but it's gonna add, it's gonna say my account. It's gonna, well, I've already shown my account, I feel like, but I could censor that later. Let's see how far back I would have to go just to show this, though. Jesus. Probably old news, Or did I have it saved somewhere? If I had it saved, that will be even quicker. Saved. I'll just check through my all posts that I've saved on Instagram. It's probably there somewhere really old, far back in my saves. Usually just save memes. I don't save this kind of stuff, but 2 years ago it was a different story. Let's see. Could probably find it. And then, Peter, you could read it because it's all in Russian. Let's see. I mean, not read it. You'll listen to it and understand it because it's all in Russian. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty conclusive, you know? Not a lot of confusion there. They just straight up do it, so yeah. Jeez, how many memes do I have saved on my Instagram? My goodness, this is ridiculous. A lot of saved posts. Here it is. And I even found their page. Here's their page. I'm gonna send this to myself. Straight up, this is their page. There's no subtitles here. I could show you guys the one with the subtitles, but Peter don't need that. Holy shit, I found it. My God, this is what they teach their kids. Meanwhile, we'll give them medical treatment every time we capture their soldiers, and then they'll torture ours and rape the service women and torture them. So let's not open that up on Instagram. Let's just put that into my browser. This might not be the right video, but no, that's just them announcing themselves, I think. Unless it's the lessons later on in the video. How long is this video, though? They're just talking about the world. What year was this? 2018, March 28th. Юпитер. А самая маленькая планета? Плутон. Хорошо. На чем мы можем полететь в космос? Maybe this is showing the whole day's lesson before it gets to that part in the video. No, this is a wrong one. I must have grabbed then. I'll send the captioned one, and if I find the uncaptioned one again, straight up from their page, then I'll send that. But here's the captioned one. Same teacher, same students.
Как называется наша родина?
Азербайджан!
Правильно. А вы знаете, кто враги Азербайджана? Кто наши враги?
Армяне!
Армяне. Почему они наши враги? Кто мне скажет?
Они наших людей убивали.
Ага, еще кто что может сказать? Еще что они сделали?
Они убили всех наших солдатов.
Ага, хорошо. Давайте посмотрим на нашу карту. 20% земель Азербайджана оккупированы армянами. Такие районы, как Кельбеджер, Ахдам, Кубадлы, Шуша, Физули. Один из таких районов также является Ходжалы.
И еще они там захватили одно место, где есть ресурсы всякие, золото.
Правильно, Юнис. Итак, в ночь с 25 на 20...
It's just insane. And then they'll be in the comments saying like horrendous things. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, straight up teaching their kids. And then when we try to get like the human rights violations, to come in and prosecute these people, and it's like, okay, they obviously teach this to their kids, and then they go torture us in the wars, and then break every international law that they have on war. Nothing's done about it. Nothing. So it's just weird. And you would have companies like Vice Media that will they'll go and they'll confirm on the Azerbaijani side, oh, Armenia used the white phosphorus on the Azerbaijani. And it's like, huh, did they? Because that's what they used on the Armenians. They burned our forests, and there are people there that had like burns from white phosphorus. And you can't just turn off, flames from phosphorus with water. It doesn't work. It makes it worse, right? So it's funny because when we show the people, we show even living people that had the phosphorus. Meanwhile, they had a whole bunch of bodies that they showed, Vice Media, that had this white phosphorus on it. And yet, what's interesting? There wasn't a single living person that had it on them. Because we never attacked them. It's almost like they took those bodies after the fact and then added the phosphorus to it. And they literally don't care. And they had this is the most ridiculous thing. Let me see if I can't find it. The most ridiculous thing. You'll laugh. They'll claim like, here's a munition that was shot at them, and there's like, it's through a desk. It's straight up through a desk. And they'll use this as evidence of why, how Armenians attack them. And it's like, how did a missile go through a desk with a perfect cutout? That's impossible. It would splinter. That's not how shit like that works. I don't know if I could even find that post. That was a while ago. But yeah. Yeah, but there was a post like that where it's just, if I could find it. No, that was a while ago. Let's try to find it here. Azerbaijan table missile fake Armenia. Those are probably keywords that would work. Here's one. And here's a meme that they made of it. They took the president of Artsakh and they put his picture here. But yeah, here's the picture that they have. Here's the president of Artsakh just put over the picture. But this is what they showed on their news. Here's Armenia that attacked them. Look, how does a missile not splinter a table and it's just so stupid. It's so stupid. And then they say Armenia attacked them. They'll use this kind of logic. It's retarded. It's straight up retarded. And then they'll have paid like human rights things, like all these idiots. I talked about this on Facebook, and then I get people that are like touting the Azerbaijan thing, and they're like, just send me an article that proves what you're saying. It's like, it takes like a long time to find all those articles. I found all the articles. He didn't respond back to me at all. It's so funny. But yeah. And they're like, but I saw articles that said Armenians were the aggressors. It's like, and it's like, because there are like the again, like I said, they're accusing Armenia of doing white phosphorus too, but we didn't, and the only evidence they have is straight up, dead bodies. And the Vice media people confirmed that the bodies had white phosphorus on it. It's like, interesting. We have dead bodies, we have building and structures, and we have living people that have it on them too. So, because as big of an explosion as you do, not everyone's going to die. So I just find that interesting. Anyways, guys, I don't know. Enough about that. Maybe just know that my arena streams will stretch into something like this towards the end. Sorry for the volume. If it's not your cup of tea, whatever. But I'm sick and tired of everything, man. All you hear in American politics is people complaining about the most bullshit, the most mundane of mundane issues. And you talk about something heavy. And people can't relate to heavy things unless if it's happened to them, right? And there's not a lot of heavy stuff that goes on in America. And if you can't feel sympathetic towards, people in a first world country to their issues, stuff that they relate to, they get turned off by what you're saying. So it's really hard. I can't. It's just, everything in American politics is annoying. And yeah, little squabbles I stop caring about. When this kind of stuff happens, I stop caring about little shit like that. And for me, something like this is just takes up everything in my brain now. Everything. So I don't know. Yeah. It's just funny. It colors everything now for me, because it's like whenever I see people arguing left or right, politics, I get desensitized to the whole process. I become apathetic to it. I just can't care. I really can't. It's just so meaningless. Like the stuff that people will, scream at each other's ears in this country over, or even kill each other over. A lot of protests turn violent. So it just baffles me. It honestly does. People scared of like KKK, white supremacists, Nazis, that kind of stuff in this country. But you look at their numbers and it's like 8,000 KKK, and they're not even like an organized KKK. They're like individual chapters that technically have nothing to do with each other, because there's no official thing anymore. Whereas like back in the day, there's like millions and millions of people in America were KKK in like the 1920s or whatever it was, 1930s. Then you look at a country like Turkey, never lost its war like, not necessarily, right? Never lost its war like Germany did, right? They're never made to pay for their sins and denounce, the what's the word I'm looking for? Fascist regime, and to acknowledge the genocide and to acknowledge these things. They continue doing whatever they do, never acknowledge the past, and somehow in this world, the primary issue in this world is white supremacy and blah blah blah, and this is the most evil thing in the world. Well, I'll tell you what, there are non-white people out there that are worse and more racist and are still in power and never were taught a lesson and never acknowledged anything. And there isn't like a few thousand, like 8,000 KKK. No, there's like 500,000 people that are part of the far right, the far right political party. And there's tens of thousands in their militant arm. You know, there's the Grey Wolves is the militant arm of Grey Wolves is the militant arm. Okay. Organization. We'll type in an organization. There you go. It's the militant arm of the the nationalist movement party. This is a straight up fascist party in Turkey with 500,000 members. And they have in their militant party, their militant arm, there's this many people. There's this many just in Germany alone. They have 18,000 plus in Germany. What about the other places in the world? They're not taking numbers in Turkey, because why would they? It's like them admitting to how many members in this militant party they have in Turkey. They're not going to do it. But there is tens of thousands of these people out there. And then you have shit like this that just exists, and no one cares. And no, white supremacy. You have that too? Yeah. It's in Europe. It's in Germany, especially in Germany, because they have a large Turkic population in Germany. Goes back to, Turkey being sided with, Germany back in 1915, 1914, 1917. They're part of that power. They were, the axis of evil was World War II. I can't remember what they're called in World War I. But they were sided together. So, and they were, supporting Hitler and that kind of shit too. So that's why there's ties going all the way back to there. It's funny, the word B-O-Z in Armenian is bitch. So, diabolized. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with France necessarily, but it's pretty bad when you have a person like this or from another country that's like decapitating people in like France, and just it's barely talked about and shit like that. It's like it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. And then people like this will get like, oh, I'm a brown person in America. And Americans are being Islamophobic to me. It's like, bitch, you come from the ruling class. You come from, the hegemony. You are the hegemony in the Middle East. You're not the person that was oppressed. And you're coming to other countries. I was oppressed. Have you seen the Christians in the Ottoman Empire or Turkey or any of these Middle Eastern countries? And it's not Western style Christianity, believe you me. But if you want to see a group of oppressed people, you look no further than Christians in the Middle East. And no, these people will come to your country and they were the oppressed ones. Of course. Wolves in sheep's clothing. Literally. Look, wolves over here. I can't be sympathetic, man, towards, like, stupid politics in the West that are literally supporting, like, Turkic supremacists. Fascists. And then just They're like literally a bastion for these people. And then they're the ones that are fighting whatever. That's why the right, the left, everything in America, in Europe is just stupid. It is so, so stupid. I've been in theater departments in America where it's left wing, and they're like, we're against racism. It's like, huh. It's funny. It's like I've encountered more racism here than anywhere else. And then you go to the right wing people, and they're completely apathetic too. It's just, it's so bullshit. All of it. You go to Turkey, the number one group, you know, that they have like oppressive, not oppressive, what's the word? That they actively discriminate against, you know, is Armenians. And then it's the Jews. And then it's Christians. And then it's like the Greeks and Assyrians. And those are like the groups that they hate in that order. Armenians at the top. And, you know, they came in from, like, the area that's like Kazakhstan today, Uzbekistan today. They rolled in from there and conquered their way there. They're not the natives. Dog board, later pack. Thanks for history, current events. No problem, Peter. Thank you for listening up until this point. I appreciate it, man. I really, really do. History lessons with Pack. You heard COVID killed Turkey like the government made prices. Yeah, they're that's probably why that they're going so hard with this kind of stuff, is because the Turkish lira tanked. I mean tanked. Their currency is doing shit. Absolute shit. It's in the gutter. So, what does an empire or an unsustainable regime do? They look outside. They look, where can we get more resources from? Let's bully this little country and extract everything we can out of there. It's because they live unsustainably. They've always lived unsustainably. More. You know, it's consumption. You'll have an empire like China. They're unsustainable too, and they have their eyes set on Taiwan, don't they? It's like a fire. It's going to burn this forest down. Maybe a little piece of burnt wood floats up in the air, you know, pressure, the wind, because from the heat. And that little thing will go across like a ravine or go across like a road or a barrier, and it would go to the other forest and boom, drop there and light a fire there until that all burns down. And it burns everything down around it until there's nothing left to burn. That's what an empire is. They just consume too much. And it's going to make its way west, you know, until they burn through everything. Until there's nothing left to burn. That's how they conceived themselves. That's how they got started. They conquered their way through. On horseback. That was literally their inception. Whereas we were like a peaceful people that were just living off of the land. That lived sustainably off of the land. And they wanted more and more and more. And to get more and more, to live unsustainably, you have to get more, right? And you burn through everything. All I know is it won't stop with Armenia, whatever it is. If for whatever reason my people don't come out of this, it's going to be pretty bad. Yeah, but we have other options other than oil. That's why, you know, Azerbaijan's freaking out. They have oil. But the rest of the world is starting to shift towards other green technologies. It's not going to be oil forever. For a while. But they're trying to establish other things in the meantime and take what they can before it all collapses. So it's just horrific. It really is. And green isn't as green as you're right. You're absolutely right. But as time goes on, it will get more efficient. As more money goes into it, slowly but surely, it'll be better. It will be better. That's just the nature of, I'm sorry guys, capitalism. That's literally why green technology goes the way it goes, is literally capitalism. Because we have enough capital, we have enough R&D, research and development, for it to really take off. That's the only way it's going to take off. If everyone's living in poverty because they can't burn stuff now, it's green in Iceland, for example. Yeah, they have geothermal energy. So they're operating off of that. And you know, volcanic activity is a big polluter in the world, but that's like natural pollution that's going to happen regardless of what we do. So we might as well harness the energy from there. I wholeheartedly, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, Iceland's very unique. Geothermal, that's very, very unique. So I not all places in the world could do that, and they kind of have to. Yeah, they can't really export that energy. I mean, when battery technology gets better and better, and it really is, you can contain a lot more energy as electricity than we used to. That could be a potential thing there. They are actually really, yeah, they are. They are. It's funny because they're in like the middle of like nowhere with like nothing, no resources, and boom, just that geothermal is the only thing that kind of makes it all nice. Because what were they doing thousands of years ago? They didn't have farmland, they didn't have shit, but now they can. So that's pretty cool. We can't conserve shit on batteries. Way too expensive. Currently, no. With the expense that we have, currently, no. So all depends on the future. Maybe we could store things away by, you know, putting energy into something, right? Forming, our bodies form a physical compound, you know, like glucose and ATP, you know, that could be used to make ATP, triglycerides, you know, stuff like that, for energy, fat for energy. So we could store things away as physical things, or we could store things away like for chemical bonds. You break the chemical bonds, it releases energy. Or we could start forming, you know, again, batteries, you know, cells can contain energy for a little while, you know, and you freeze them and they could contain energy for even longer. So it's complicated, man. There are ways, there are real ways to keep that sustainable, but it's going to take a while. And definitely every country figuring out their energy needs locally will be even better than just the battery thing. Because I think batteries are terrible for the environment. Absolutely terrible. We're farming like rare earth minerals that, you know, we're going to run out of and can't just be used constantly. Yeah. We need to keep it coming like a flowing river, you know, so that way we don't have to have it all bottled up all the time. But you definitely still need batteries. Like, what do you do if you're a country that's all solar panels and now it's like winter and there's less sunlight? Then what do? You know, you have to have a buffer system. So you store some during when you have too much. So when you have a shortage, you could use it later. That's the only way you do it. Otherwise, countries like, I think Germany have a hard time with that, don't they? So it's complicated. But yeah. Are market solutions to these problems that exist, that will exist, that may not even exist today. But that is putting fear in Baku, you know, Azerbaijan. So they're all trying to do what they can now to whatever, to grow and expand now before that happens, and they're trying to destroy Armenia as quickly as they can, they're really not letting up. If they gave us 10, 20 years, we'd be able to fight back. Because Armenia is bigger in the tech industry than Azerbaijan and Turkey are. We've always been pretty good. Math, sciences, chess. Armenians have been pretty good with subjects. So we're, planning on expanding and expanding. But if they attack before we could develop anything, we'll have nothing. And the longer the Western world decides to deal with these people, the worse off we will be. Yeah, math, sciences. It's ridiculous. They have, even in the Soviet. I know what was it? My grandma's cousin or uncle or something. He was like a top Soviet scientist. One of their top scientists was had 3 disciples, so to speak, and he was one of them. He was straight up one of them. He never even published never got to publish, what was it, his doctorate. But he wrote a doctorate for 3 other people. And then, he never got to publish his own because they told him, okay, we'll let you have the doctorate, but that research is ours now. We got to put our names on it. And he's like, no, no. So, physics, he was I want to say, he was a rocket engineer. Yeah. But I'm sure he could do physics too. But that was, a long time ago. They wouldn't even let him leave. They wouldn't let him leave, Moscow, because he was such a big resource. So he lived pretty far away from the rest of his family that was in Armenia. He had to stay in Moscow. He was literally like a top resource. They wouldn't let the guy leave because it was too much of a security risk or some shit. Yeah. There was a big influx, of different countries taking the top. Exactly. Yeah, he was. I mean, technically everything in the Soviet system was socialized, right? So if you're working as a rocket engineer, it isn't an independent company for yourself. It is for the government. And if you're high up enough, you can't leave. You can't leave. And he didn't. I think the guy died of a heart attack, but yeah, he stayed in pretty much Russia for most of his life because of that. So it's a form of some sort of servitude. It's almost like a serf. You can't leave the land, Can't live in Armenia, you mean? Yeah, the guy didn't live in Armenia. He couldn't leave Moscow. They kept him in Moscow. They didn't even let him go back to Armenia. They kept him in Moscow. Yeah, it would have been fine if he was in, because they were the biggest, some of the biggest observatories and science wings of the Soviet were in Armenia. Like, the biggest one was in Armenia. So it would have made sense if he worked there, but it was, he had to stay in Moscow and under the constant eye of the government. Soviet was a fucked up system. I had a family that was in the gulags there for having, I think it was Trotsky, on a newspaper in his room. Like, some guy went to his house as a guest, and he saw that, here's a thing of Trotsky. Secretly, he went off, told the secret police. Guy gets shipped off to, Siberia, where he's exiled for like 19 and a half years before he could get back. Because some guy tattled on him. I had a great-grandfather who fought in World War II. A veteran, right? He was in the Nazi camps. He was captured. 3 times were trying to take him to the gas chambers. Each time there was bombing up ahead. So they couldn't manage to take him to the gas chambers. A German family helped him escape. Even offered their daughter in like marriage or something to him. He said no, he had a family back home. They managed to help him get back to, the Soviet. And he gets captured there in the Soviet, and they question him. They're like, so, why did you let yourself get captured? And he's like, well, I was fighting, and then I got caught, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yes, but why did you let yourself get captured? And the implication that they're trying to say there is, A, don't get captured. B, if you get captured, kill yourself. That's what they're trying to say. You don't let yourself get captured. So they had him under exile for like 2.5 years. His wife was writing in constantly, and because he was a veteran, eventually they let him go, and he got back to his family. So he's like fighting for 7 years, basically gets caught, and he's stuck in Germany for like 7 years. He gets caught, they hold him for like another 2, and then he can finally make it back to his family, because that's how that system was. Yeah, the Bolsheviks were horrible. Armenians, 1915. Up until 1917. They had a genocide. Armenians fought back. They retaliated. And they won. They managed to claim back several regions. Here's Turkey. Here's Azerbaijan, which is just now newly forming. And they managed to win back like 6 or 7 regions or something like that. Okay, cool. And now that it's going to be ratified, Woodrow Wilson is about to sign this. There's a peace treaty, and it's Sèvres, I think. Let me see. It was a French treaty. Let me look it up. Peace treaty. Ottoman. Sèvres, yeah. Treaty of Sèvres. And look at the lands here. This would have been Armenia. All of that would have been Armenia. Let me show you. So this would have gone to France. That would have gone to the British. That would have stayed as Armenia. That would have been Georgia. That would have been, everything. This would have been the Italian zone, the Greek zone, French zone. They had this all mapped out. This was the treaty in 1920. Armenia won after getting massacred. And then the goddamn Bolsheviks came in. They fought against Armenia, made Armenia give up a majority of the regions to Turkey in the hopes that Turkey would join the Soviet one day. And then they kept one little tiny region to themselves. And that region is the region that you see today in Armenia. And then they gave also away this other half to Azerbaijan, even though Armenians were still living there, because they hate Armenians. Straight up. So anyone who's sympathetic to Bolsheviks, to Soviets, to those communists, is definitely on the wrong side of history. And yeah. Because I've seen people fly the Soviet flag, and it pisses me off, because for me that flag represents like all the evil in the world. Just not all the evil, but like a lot of the evil in the world. And it's like, because Armenians were like literally terrorized by those people, by the Bolsheviks, by their stupid revolution. And like, because I saw people on Facebook would openly like do that as a joke or something, and I'm just like, hey man, you wouldn't wear like SS uniform and like Nazi attire and then be like, why are the Jewish people mad at me? Why are the Jewish people mad? Yeah, you put on like a communist, like Soviet era communist thing, and I'm going to be commenting, and you're going to be like, why are you mad at me? It's like, why? You really don't think I'd be mad at you if you're wearing that kind of attire? And you just don't understand. You're like that ignorant and stupid. But yeah. So Armenia would have been this big had the Bolsheviks not came in. That big. That would have been Armenia. And here's the problem. Turkey became bigger, right? Turkey became big. And then all the Turks that were in Eastern Europe were over that way, that way, that way, that way. They all came, the diaspora went into this extra land that Turkey got and settled there. After the Armenians were all killed and moved out, a whole bunch of Turks settled there. And it became a bastion of Turkic, whatever. And that, destroyed Armenia's only chance at having some sort of future, basically. Because of Bolsheviks. So, yeah. That's the real history. That's how history unfolded. That's why I don't like the communists, the Soviets, the blah blah blahs. So I hate the the Nazis, because they had my great grandfather in the camps there. They had us in the gulags. They had us. The Ottomans had us in the genocide. So it's been a constant battle throughout history. The Arabs, the various Persian empires that came and went, the Greeks, Macedonians, Greeks, whatever. The with Alexander the Great and whatnot, the Romans. It's been a constant. That region is like the bridge to Europe and Asia. That whole area. Look at ancient Armenia. When it's at its biggest, let's say. That is Armenia. That is at its biggest extent, I guess. And then some of these other regions are, more conquest. But so I think if you look at Armenia, this part doesn't count. Not much until we migrated there. This is called Pequeño Armenia. So that's Lesser Armenia and Greater Armenia. So this is, the higher plains, the lower plains, when you're out of the Caucasus. But this area basically had Armenians, whether or not it was, covered by Armenia or not, that whole region. It was literally the bridge. You couldn't get past without meeting Armenians, just about. So, basically sea to sea, if that makes sense. That was Armenia. Almost touched all three seas. If you look here, there's a different kind of Greekic people that were here. I forget what they're called. The Pontic Greeks, Pontus. Yeah, the Pontic Greeks are a different type of Greek. They're about as Greek as Kurdish people are Iranian or Persian. You know what I mean? So that was a complicated history. But yeah, anyways, guys, history lesson with Pack. A lot of stuff's been going on, and I just couldn't hold back. So, anyways, guys, this has been the Pack, and if you want to join the Pack with the Pack, go ahead and subscribe down below. If you like this video, then like this video. If you have something to say, write it down in the comments down below. If you like this video, then like this video. Did I just say that? Yeah, write down in the comments down below. If you want to support the Arena Chronicles or the content on this channel, go ahead and share. If you want to see more Arena Chronicles or content from this channel, go ahead and hit that bell icon for notifications, guys. This ain't Twitch. Join Kage's gaming Discord server for all the best underground DQT conversations, and join my server for all the best DQT guides. Anyways, guys, this has been the Pack, signing out. Peace. Hey!